Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something absolutely unbelievable to talk about because what just happened on Britain's Got Talent left the judges, the audience, and honestly the entire internet in total disbelief. This performance wasn't just memorable, it was the kind of thing that makes you question how the world works. It was strange, creative, hilarious, terrifying, and mind-blowing all at once. If you think you've seen everything this show has to offer, trust me, you haven't seen anything yet. Because today, we're diving into the unbelievable audition of the Deep Space Deviants, a group so bizarre and so unexpectedly brilliant that their performance instantly became one of the most talked about moments of the season. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a deep dive into one of the most original auditions in Britain's Got Talent history. And make sure you watch until the end, because the final twist in this performance sent shockwaves through the entire theater. Let's get started. The show begins like every typical episode of Britain's Got Talent. The judges are settling into their seats. Simon Cowell has that look on his face where he's hoping something surprising will happen to break the usual routine. Amanda Holden has her fingers crossed for something magical. Alicia Dixon is excited for talent but ready to call out anything that doesn't impress her. And Bruno is simply buzzing with energy as always, ready to cheer or scream or stand on the table depending on how things go. Backstage, the host is talking to contestants, wishing them good luck and trying to figure out what kind of performance the next group is about to deliver. It's always a mystery. Sometimes you hear drums. Sometimes you hear singing. Sometimes you hear people arguing. And sometimes, like today, you hear absolutely nothing. Complete silence. And that silence is the first clue that something strange is about to happen. The stage door opens slowly, and out walks a group of 4 performers completely covered in metallic silver body suits from head to toe. Not a single inch of skin is visible. They're wearing huge helmets shaped like planets and stars, each one glowing faintly with neon light strips. They're carrying odd, futuristic props that no one in the audience recognizes. The whole room goes quiet. They look like aliens who got lost on the way to a movie set and accidentally wandered into the BGT auditions. Simon raises one eyebrow. Alicia whispers something like "What on earth?" Amanda can't stop smiling already, because she loves the weird ones. And Bruno. He's already clapping. He doesn't even know what they're going to do yet. He just knows it's going to be dramatic. The group stands in a perfect square formation at the center of the stage. They don't wave. They don't bow. They don't even acknowledge the audience. They stand completely still like statues. After a few seconds, the silence becomes so intense that the judges feel a little uncomfortable. Simon is the first to speak. He leans forward slightly and says, in his usual calm but suspicious tone, "Hello. Who are you?" There is no response. The judges wait. Nothing. Simon repeats himself. "Who are you?" One of the performers finally lifts a hand slowly, pressing a glowing button on their chest. A robotic voice echoes through the theater. "We are the Deep Space Deviants." The way the voice sounds robotic but slightly glitchy makes the audience laugh immediately. The performers don't react at all. Amanda asks, "And what are you going to be doing for us today?" Another robotic voice responds, "We will demonstrate intergalactic frequency manipulation." This earns a second round of confused laughter. Even Simon smirks, because it's so unclear whether this is going to be a disaster or something completely genius. The music team backstage looks terrified because nobody knows what that means. Even the hosts backstage exchange glances like, "Is this real?" But the stage crew hits the cue anyway, and the lights dim. A hush falls over everyone. Then suddenly, a deep rumbling bass sound fills the theater, like the engine of a spacecraft powering up. The LED lights in their helmets glow brighter. Their bodies begin to move in slow, robotic motions perfectly synchronized to the sound. But it's not normal robot dancing. The way their movements sync with the low frequencies feels like their bodies are vibrating with the sound waves. The audience leans forward instinctively. Then, without warning, the bass drops into a rapid, glitchy electronic beat that feels like a mix between dubstep, sci-fi effects, and retro arcade music. The Deep Space Deviants transform instantly from slow, mechanical movements into explosive, sharp, hyper-precise choreography. Every movement hits the beat with shocking accuracy. The crowd erupts. But what makes it mind-blowing isn't just the dancing. It's the illusions. Every time their arms move, the glowing strips on their suits create patterns that make it look like their limbs are bending or teleporting. They do a ripple wave where the neon lights shift so quickly across their bodies that it appears like their skeletons are momentarily visible inside the suits. People gasp. One child in the front row literally stands up to see if he's imagining it. Then they form a circle, facing inward, their helmets glowing brighter. Suddenly, beams of light shoot upward from their props, creating floating holographic shapes in the air. At first they look like stars. Then they rearrange into what looks like a rotating galaxy right above the stage. The entire audience starts shouting. Nobody can believe what they're seeing. It's like the stage turned into a science fiction movie. Simon sits up straight. Amanda puts a hand on her chest. Alicia has her mouth open in pure disbelief. And Bruno. He's already halfway out of his chair. The beat shifts again. This time the tempo slows down, and the dancers begin moving like they're in zero gravity. Their limbs float upward unnaturally, and the lighting design creates a shimmering anti-gravity effect around their bodies. They appear to be suspended in air even though their feet remain on the ground. The audience doesn't clap. They don't cheer. They don't even breathe. They're hypnotized. Then the tempo speeds up again. The galaxy hologram above them expands, and suddenly, as the beat hits a powerful drop, the hologram collapses inward, transforming into a gigantic glowing sphere that seems to float right in front of the judges. People scream. But it's not over. The Deep Space Deviants jump back into high-speed choreography, blending popping, tutting, and breakdance-style footwork with advanced LED illusions that make their bodies appear to glitch in and out of reality. Each time they hit a move, the hologram pulses brighter. The sphere begins reacting to their movements. When they clap, it vibrates. When they stomp, it ripples. When they spin, it rotates faster. It's like they're controlling an entire cosmic object with their dance. The sound design becomes more intense. The music builds towards something big. You can feel it. Everyone can feel it. Even the judges grip their desks, bracing for something massive. The lights flicker. The performers freeze for just one moment. Then everything goes pitch black. A few people gasp. A loud electronic hum vibrates through the room. And then, boom. The entire theater explodes with a shockwave of light as the performers activate their final sequence. Their suits flare with patterns so bright they look like living constellations. The holographic sphere shatters into thousands of tiny fragments that float through the air like glowing cosmic dust. They spin through the darkness in a massive swirling pattern, drifting toward the audience and making it feel like a meteor shower is happening inside the building. People are screaming, cheering, crying, laughing, all at once. The Deep Space Deviants perform one final synchronized flip, landing in a perfect formation. The lights shut off instantly. Total darkness. The music stops. For a few seconds, nobody knows what happened. They're sitting there in silence, stunned, replaying the last few minutes in their minds. Then the lights come back on. And the room erupts. The audience leaps to their feet in a massive standing ovation. Everyone is screaming so loudly that you can barely hear yourself think. Even people backstage rush forward to look through the curtains. Bruno jumps onto his desk, waving his arms and shouting. Amanda claps with an expression like she's just witnessed a miracle. Alicia keeps repeating, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And Simon, well, Simon looks genuinely impressed. And that says everything. When Simon speaks, the room quiets down but the energy is still electrifying. He leans forward, looking at the performers with rare admiration, and says, "I have never seen anything like that on this stage. That wasn't just a performance. That was an experience." Alicia adds, "It was futuristic, creative, and absolutely unbelievable. I can't even explain what I just saw." Amanda wipes her eyes because she's laughing and crying at the same time. She says, "You took us to another planet. That was magical." Bruno screams, "That was not talent. That was a revelation. That was cosmic insanity. I love you." The audience screams even louder. Simon raises a finger, signaling he's about to say something important. The room quiets down again. He says, "Look, what you just did wasn't just original. It was revolutionary. And I think the world needs to see more of this." He glances at the other judges. Then Simon stands up. Everyone in the theater knows what that means. Simon reaches toward the golden buzzer. The audience explodes. He slams his hand down, and the golden confetti blasts from above, raining down over the stage in a shimmering cascade that looks like intergalactic stardust. The Deep Space Deviants stand still, but the glowing patterns on their suits shift into warm golden tones as the confetti falls around them. The theater feels like it's shaking with the sheer volume of cheering. Amanda stands up clapping. Alicia stands up clapping. Bruno is jumping up and down like a kid at a festival. Even backstage staff are cheering. The performers bow in their stiff robotic style, not breaking character for even a moment. Their glowing helmets tilt in unison as the crowd roars. It's one of the most intense and visually stunning golden buzzer moments the show has ever seen. As the hosts run on stage to congratulate them, you can see the performers' suits slowly dim to a soft, peaceful glow, like the aftermath of a supernova settling into calm. Simon turns to the audience and says, "That is how you do it." And honestly, he's right. Even after the confetti stops falling, the crowd doesn't sit down. Everyone just keeps cheering, trying to process what they just witnessed. Phones are out. People are tweeting. Clips are already going viral before the show even ends. Backstage, when the performers walk off, still fully in character, everyone runs up to congratulate them. Camera crews chase them down for interviews. And the entire internet explodes with reactions, theories, and insane edits trying to figure out how they pulled off their illusions. Some say it was advanced LED programming. Some say it was holographic projection. Some say it was both plus something brand new that's never been used on the show before. But the truth is simple. The Deep Space Deviants created something unforgettable. And that's why their audition instantly became one of the most mind-blowing performances in Britain's Got Talent history. Thank you so much for watching today's breakdown of this incredible audition. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most shocking moments of the season, make sure to stick around because we've got plenty more unbelievable performances and behind-the-scenes stories coming your way. And until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the extraordinary.